I want to ask you a question. So who here comes from a large family? Do you consider yourself coming from a large family? Fawn Jackson? I know you do. My mother comes from a large Catholic family of 8 children, and I love our family reunions because you come back to the family and you report in on your progress, right? Don't you? You try and make Grandma and Grandpa proud. You want to look good for your parents. And I've really been looking forward to this conference because it does feel a bit like we're coming back to our parent to report in on our progress. And we and our siblings here are all off to college, and we're bringing home the report card, aren't we? And we have some siblings who are ahead of us. In the U.S., we are a new roundtable. We've only existed for a little over a year now, and have been working hard to make good progress. Unlike the Brazilian roundtable that predates this global roundtable and has provided an example for all of us on making great progress on important issues, and the Canadian roundtable, which has been so impressive in their unity and in their ability to move forward together quickly. The U.S. roundtable took quite a long time to get off the ground. Who here has been involved in the U.S. roundtable? It has been a very difficult process to try to bring together all of our stakeholders and create a space where we can have constructive engagement, engagement on the issues that matter to the people who want to participate in this effort, and a place where we can disagree, where we can bring problems, and we can try to find solutions together. Creating that space was difficult, but really worth it. And I feel like we have good progress to report to you, Rory. So I hope you'll be pleased when I show you our report card. The U.S. Roundtable has created our mission and our vision. Ultimately, our intention is that the U.S. beef value chain will be the trusted global leader in environmentally sound, socially responsible, and economically viable beef. And I know that I have many friends around the world who would take issue with that and say, no, that's not the ground we're going to give to the U.S. We're going to take that for ourselves. I've heard that from my great friends in Canada many times. And that's great. I think it's terrific that we are all striving for that goal. And maybe we're coming to it for different reasons, but I think the fact that we're coming together is probably the most important thing. We are building on the work of the Global Roundtable, so as with the other roundtables, the U.S. Roundtable would not exist if it was not for the Global Roundtable's work to define what sustainable beef production looks like and to come up with the principles and the indicators. The work of, or principles and criteria, the work of the U.S. Roundtable is, of course, as with the other regional roundtables, development of indicators and means of verification that are meaningful for our production system. We have prioritized the following areas of focus. So this is the work of the U.S. Roundtable. One of the things that we've talked about in the U.S. Roundtable is the need to be an action-oriented group. I'm pleased that we offer a place for people to debate and discuss, but we will not satisfy our members if we are not moving forward on our work. And we have set the following work for ourselves. We will develop sustainability indicators, and we've made excellent progress towards finalizing those. We will develop a means to verify those indicators, so a way to demonstrate to third parties and others to their satisfaction that we are progressing in our work. We've created a program philosophy for implementing sustainability objectives, and we're going to generate some field projects that prove out sustainability concepts. And then finally, we're going to establish goals for ourselves so that we'll be able to hold ourselves against our goals for progress and demonstrate improvement over time that's meaningful. As Rory said, we've had tremendous participation from our partners in the U.S., and this is I show you this slide with great pride, but also tremendous humility. You see all of the groups and the individuals that have decided that this is worth their time and effort. And that is a tremendous responsibility for all of us in the U.S. This is a tremendous responsibility for all of us in the Global Roundtable as well, because these folks know that they have joined a group that's built on the work of the Global Roundtable. So in a way, we're all affiliated. We're all in part of the same family. And we feel a strong obligation to perform for these members and to deliver on their investment. In the first year, we had a number of tremendous accomplishments, and I won't list them off for you other than to say we are moving forward at what feels like lightning speed to me. We have other members in our group who say, you're moving quite slow. why aren't you moving faster? And I think that's right. We need that tension. But so far, we have already developed, for example, 6 high-priority indicators. That is really difficult, controversial work, and we've already gotten there within 1 year already. We've built our work on the life cycle analysis that was created for the U.S., so we had that gift that was given to us by the members of the NCBA, the Cattlemen's Beef Association, and thank heaven for that, because that's provided excellent science as a foundation for our work. We are in a number of other efforts here. We're developing metrics for water resources, and I will share those with you in a bit. And then I will show you just one slide on the assurance program, or the verification scheme that we're trying to come up with for the U.S. The work of the U.S. Roundtable is being done by these 3 working groups. So we have a governance body, and it meets and it does wonderful things. But actually, if you want to participate in the U.S. Roundtable, be a member of one of these 3 working groups, and this is where you'll make your voice heard. We have an indicator working group, a verification working group, and a sustainable solutions working group. And we have the names of the leaders on this slide here. I want to call out for you the tremendous investment of time that's been made by these individuals and the organizations they represent. As you and I know, it is hard to find time for this effort. And very few people actually have sustainability in their job description. Most of the people who are participating in this effort are doing it for love of the environment, for love of this industry, because of concerns about social pressures, because of concerns about social license. And I am terribly grateful to the people who've given their passion for this work and their time. These are the high priority indicators that we've developed for the U.S., and then you can see the definitions on the side. I'm happy to provide more detail to anybody in the room who would like to see it. We have this information in our first annual report that has already been published, and so we can certainly give you a copy of that. I wanted to share with you some metrics that we're trying to come up with for water as an example of just how complicated this issue is. We know that water is a key indicator for beef production, and we know that we need to understand our water usage and that we're going to need to be able to measure it and demonstrate improvement over time. What does that look like for each participant in the beef value chain? It's not the same in my old packing plant as it is for somebody who's running a retail restaurant, as it is for someone who's running a feedlot. We have to provide meaningful metrics for each of those groups. And so our group has come up with these draft metrics for water resources. This now needs to be done for each of our different indicators, so it's going to be quite a challenge. You can see our metric development schedule is here. This covers us until spring of 2017. This is only one work stream in the U.S. This is complicated work. We are committed to doing the hard work and to being thoughtful about it, and I hope that if you're interested, you'll participate. Here's our sustainability assurance framework. This is also called a verification scheme, and you can see where we intend to play. So the U.S. Roundtable intends to provide resources. The U.S. Roundtable intends to provide education and training programs and methods for self-assessment. The U.S. Roundtable does not intend to provide second or third-party verification. We will provide support to second or third-party verifiers, but that's not going to be part of the core work of the U.S. Roundtable. And we can share with you the philosophy of that as well if you're interested in trying to understand why we've chosen that approach. There'll be an afternoon session on this, and we can cover that during that session. And you can see some of the additional work streams that are going on in the U.S. right now. So it's complicated work, and that's really the headline there. The Sustainable Solutions Working Group, we call that's the name of the group that's working on trying to prove out sustainability concepts on the ground and demonstrate what really works. One of the intentions of our roundtable is when we identify a problem, we also want to be able to provide members and other people in the value chain solutions. And so the Sustainable Solutions Working Group is in charge of developing those solutions and then sharing that information back in. In that way, we use the U.S. Roundtable not just as a body for ticking off boxes, coming up with metrics, coming up with schemes, but actually furthering science. And we're pretty excited about that commitment. We conducted a strategy session for the U.S. Roundtable to try to make sure that we're thinking ahead. We're not just here to accomplish one goal. We're not going to get done with our work in 2 years and say, now what? We are confident that the need for this body is going to go forward. We have said that we're a continuous improvement group, and we have said that we intend to make a difference in this industry for the long term. So we conducted our strategic assessment and came up with our plans for the next several years. And I'm pretty fired up about the future for the U.S. Roundtable. Year 2, looking forward, these are the things we're going to be working on. As I said earlier, we'll have a book of metrics and a toolkit for indicators for each segment. There'll be workshops to try to make sure that people have the opportunity to have a say, and also that we're able to communicate our work to people who are interested. In a system the size of the U.S., that is a major challenge. The U.S. is complicated, it is big, it's diverse, and we don't always agree. So we need to provide tremendous opportunities for communication. And as you can see, there are a number of other opportunities that we have here for the next year, and we have our hands full. But we have a committed group of folks who are participating in this effort. They are diverse. They represent diverging interests. We don't agree, and we see that as a sign of success. So we will move forward together, and I'm pleased to be part of this effort. Please, anybody else who's going to attend this Sustainable Agriculture Summit in the U.S. in Atlanta in November, you will see representatives from the U.S. Roundtable there. We're engaging with other agricultural sustainability groups to make sure that our work is informing each other and that we're sharing what we are learning and making sure that we're able to provide that to other sustainability groups as well. More information is there on our website.